Welcome back to the showdown between Ben 10, Ultimate Alien, and Battle Beast. Even in their base forms, both characters represent the pinnacle of physical power and fighting will in their respective universes. Ben 10, or Benjamin Kirby Tennyson, is an entity who carries within him the genetic treasury of millions of cosmic species, amplified through an alien technological device capable of simulating the evolutionary process. Meanwhile, Battle Beast is the embodiment of biological perfection, a warrior who has forged himself through thousands of years of conquest, possessing physical strength and combat skills that have reached a realm feared by even the most powerful empires in the universe. To understand who will be the last one standing, we need to delve deep into the origins, the nature of power, and the psychology of each warrior. Let us begin this analytical journey. First, we come to Ben, 10 inches the Ultimate Alien era. Benjamin Tennyson is no longer the 10-year-old boy who stumbled upon the Omnitrix. In this era, Ben has become a global hero, a celebrity worshipped by the entire world after revealing his identity and saving Earth from countless disasters. However, the fame and pressure have changed him, making Ben so confident that the line between confidence and arrogance sometimes becomes razor thin. The biggest turning point in this era lies not in Ben himself, but in the device he uses, the Ultimatrix. The Ultimatrix, created by Ben's rival Albedo and later perfected by Azimuth, is not just a copy of the Omnitrix. It carries a groundbreaking and also highly dangerous function, the Ultimate Mode. The Ultimate Mode isn't simply about enhancing muscle strength or firing larger energy blasts. The Ultimatrix scans the genetic code of the original creature, then simulates that species' evolution over millions of years in a simulated environment optimized for combat. The result is an ultimate form, a more perfect, aggressive, and lethal version of that creature. This means Ben is not just using the power of an alien, but the power of that alien's ancestors or descendants after millions of years of the most brutal natural selection. This change isn't just in the appearance, which becomes more jagged and fierce, but also brings about a psychological shift. When transforming into an ultimate form, Ben is often affected by aggressive instincts, losing control and becoming more brutal, reflecting the true nature of survival-driven evolution. Ben 10's abilities in this era are an infinite treasure trove. First is Humungosaur, a Vaxasaurian from the planet Terradino. In his base form, Humungosaur already possesses immense physical strength, the ability to change size from a few meters to dozens of meters tall, and extremely high durability. When evolved into Ultimate Humungosaur, his body is no longer that of a pure Tyrannosaurus Rex, but becomes a biological monster with ossified bone armor and, most notably, the ability to launch nuclear radiation blasts from his shoulders. Ultimate Humungosaur's physical strength increases to the point where he can easily support weights of thousands of tons, and his radiation blasts have destructive power equivalent to small thermonuclear explosions, enough to level an entire city or penetrate the defenses of entities with planetary-level durability. Next is Diamond Head, a Petrosapien from the planet Petropia. Diamond Head's base form allows Ben to transform his body into a super durable diamond crystal, capable of regeneration, energy absorption, and reflection, as well as manipulating crystalline structures. When evolved into Ultimate Diamond Head, his body is no longer composed of blocky crystals, but becomes sharper, more jagged, and more flexible. Ultimate Diamond Head's power lies in his ability to manipulate crystals at a molecular level. He can turn any surface he touches into crystal, create dense storms of crystalline knives, and most importantly, his crystalline armor is hard enough to withstand physical and energy attacks at a destructive level. He can fire crystalline energy beams with extremely high penetration power, cutting through even the most durable alloys. One of the most haunting and dangerous transformations is Swampfire, a Methanosian. In his base form, Swampfire possesses the ability to control fire, near-instant biological regeneration, and disperse various types of spores capable of mind control. When evolved into Ultimate Swampfire, his nature changes completely. He is no longer a fiery plant creature, but becomes a giant, venomous fungal monster. Ultimate Swampfire loses the ability to fly, but in return, his speed and agility increase significantly. He can launch extremely powerful vine-like tendrils, shoot clouds of toxic spores that can paralyze or control enemies, and his flames shift to a green hue, possessing highly corrosive and biologically destructive properties. Ultimate Swampfire's regenerative ability is also upgraded, allowing him to regrow lost body parts almost instantly, making him an incredibly difficult opponent to destroy in prolonged battles. Additionally, we cannot overlook Big Chill, a Necrophrygian. The base form allows Ben to fly, become intangible, and freeze anything with his breath. When evolved into Ultimate Big Chill, he becomes a giant insect-like creature with 4 wings, and his predatory instincts surge powerfully. Ultimate Big Chill doesn't just freeze enemies with low temperatures, his breath also has the ability to freeze at an atomic level, slowing down or completely stopping molecular motion. Moreover, he can consume the matter and energy of his enemies to heal himself. Finally, among the physical and energy-based transformations, we must mention Way Big, a Tokastar. This is one of Ben's most powerful transformations, with a gigantic size and strength capable of leveling an entire planet. Way Big possesses durability and physical strength on a cosmic scale, and his primary weapon is a cosmic ray fired from crossing his arms, with destructive power sufficient to tear through space and annihilate entire fleets of alien warships. Although Way Big does not have an ultimate form in the series, his base power is already enough to place Ben among entities with planet-destroying strength. In terms of psychology and combat style, Ben in the Ultimate Alien era shows more maturity but also relies more heavily on the raw power of the Ultimatrix. He often starts a battle with confidence, sometimes overconfidence, and only activates the ultimate mode when faced with a truly dangerous opponent. The psychological shift when using the ultimate mode is a double-edged sword. It grants Ben sharper power and combat instincts, but it also makes him prone to losing control, neglecting defensive tactics, and plunging into dangerous head-on duels. However, Ben's intelligence and quick improvisation skills remain his secret weapon. That said, Ben 10 is not without weaknesses. His greatest weakness lies within the Ultimatrix device itself. Although the transformation time has been extended compared to the original Omnitrix, it still has limits. If a battle drags on too long, Ben will be forced to revert to his human form, and in this state, he is just an ordinary teenager with average health, completely incapable of withstanding cosmic-level attack. Furthermore, Ben's reliance on the Ultimatrix sometimes causes him to neglect physical training in his human form. Moreover, the ultimate forms typically consume more energy, and overusing them can cause system malfunctions or allow Ben to be controlled by the aggressive instincts of the ultimate form, leading to fatal mistakes. Now we come to a warrior from the Invincible Universe, a place where blood, bone, and brutal survival are immutable laws. That is, Battle Beast. Battle Beast is not a god, possesses no magic, and has no technological devices to assist him. He is an alien warrior, an entity who has spent thousands of years of his life solely seeking a worthy battle, an opponent who can push him to the ultimate limit of life and death. Battle Beast's origin and race are not revealed in detail, but what he has shown suggests he comes from a civilization or an environment where physical strength and combat skill are the sole measure of an individual's worth. He does not fight for resources, he does not fight for territory, and he certainly does not fight for moral ideals or the survival of his race. Battle Beast fights for the sheer joy and meaning of existence. To him, this universe is just a colossal arena, and every creature within it is merely a potential opponent to test his own strength against. This philosophy makes him extremely terrifying, because you cannot negotiate with, threaten, or bribe a being who considers his own death or that of his opponent to be the highest reward. Battle Beast's physical strength is a mystery even within his own universe, but through his recorded battles, we can definitively state that he stands at the absolute pinnacle of the physical power scale. To understand Battle Beast's strength, we must look at the greatest opponent he has ever faced, Thrag, the Grand Regent of the Viltrumite Empire. Viltrumites have been established as a superhuman warrior race, with the strength to fly through planets, withstand the pressure of a star's core, and the durability to live for thousands of years. Thrag is the strongest of all Viltrumites, an entity who has conquered and ravaged countless worlds. And Battle Beast, in a battle that lasted for days, not only held his own against Thrag, but pushed him to the brink of death, forcing the Grand Regent to use all his skill and strength to finally bring him down. Battle Beast's raw muscle power allows him to deliver attacks with destructive force equivalent to massive explosion. A single punch from him can create shockwaves that tear through the air, destroy reinforced concrete structures as easily as paper, and carve out colossal craters on a planet's surface. His speed is also incredibly difficult to believe. He can move at supersonic speeds within an atmosphere, and even faster in outer space. His reflexes allow him to block or evade attacks from enemies of comparable speed, and his ability to fly allows him to fully control three-dimensional space in combat. What truly makes Battle Beast a legend among warriors is his endurance and recovery system. Battle Beast possesses an extremely powerful immune system and cellular regeneration mechanism. He can continue fighting even with punctured lungs, broken bones, severe blood loss, or even the loss of a limb. Pain for him is not a warning signal to retreat, but a catalyst, a reminder that he is still alive and can still fight. He no longer paps, but instead of collapsing, he simply laughs loudly and charges at his opponent with even more terrifying ferocity. This sheer tenacity makes him an incredibly difficult opponent to destroy. You cannot simply defeat Battle Beast by dealing damage. You must completely obliterate every single one of his cells or deprive him of his consciousness, because as long as he has a single breath left, he will still try to tear his opponent apart. Regarding combat skill, Battle Beast is a true master. He is not just a brute who crushes opponents with raw power. He has accumulated combat experience over thousands of years, facing countless races, countless fighting styles, and countless different types of weapons. He is proficient in all manner of handheld weapons, from swords, spears, and axes to the bizarre weapons of various civilizations. But his favorite and most iconic weapon is a long spear. This spear is not just a thrusting tool. In Battle Beast's hands, it becomes an extension of his own body. He uses it to parry blows, to hook and pull opponents, to launch as a projectile, and to create wide area attack. When disarmed, he fights barehanded, using his razor-sharp claws and grappling, joint locking, and striking techniques perfected over millennia. He possesses the ability to analyze an opponent's fighting style after just a few exchanges, finding the holes in their defense. He has no fear. The concept of death does not worry him. On the contrary, he craves it, but only if that death comes at the hands of a worthy opponent. He respects the strong, and when he recognizes a truly exceptional opponent, he will fight with all his seriousness and respect. He does not possess blind arrogance like Dr. Doom, personal hatred like Magneto, or moral burdens like Ben 10. He fights with purity, with absolute focus on survival and the destruction of his opponent. However, Battle Beast is not without weaknesses. His greatest weakness lies in his very life philosophy. He has no long-range energy attack capabilities whatsoever. He cannot fire laser beams, cannot manipulate magnetic fields, and cannot use magic. Every single one of his attacks relies on closing the distance and using physical force. This makes him vulnerable to opponents who can control space, set energy traps, or attack from a distance he cannot breach. Furthermore, his respect for the strong sometimes causes him to pass up the opportunity to immediately destroy an opponent if he feels that opponent has not yet reached their limit. He wants a fair and glorious battle, and this can be exploited by more cunning enemies. Finally, despite his extreme regenerative abilities, he still has limits. If the damage exceeds his cellular regeneration capacity, or if he is attacked in critical weak points such as the brain or central nervous system, he can still be destroyed. To determine the winner, we need to simulate a comprehensive battle, analyze the phases, and evaluate the interaction between their power system. When the fight begins, Ben, with the confidence of a global hero, we'll start with basic transformations to probe his opponent. He might turn into Humungosaur or Diamond Head, forms with high physical strength and durability, to test his mettle against Battle Beast. At this stage, Battle Beast will demonstrate an astonishing superiority. Although Humungosaur and Diamond Head are both formidable warriors, Battle Beast is an entity who has fought on par with Thrag. Battle Beast's reflex speed, combat skills, and sheer physical power will allow him to easily overwhelm Ben's base form. Battle Beast's punches will create shockwaves that tear through Diamond Head's crystalline armor, and his speed will make it impossible for Humungosaur to even touch him. Ben will quickly realize that in a pure, physical duel, he has no chance of winning against this warrior. Ben will be forced to activate the Ultimatrix and switch to his ultimate forms. This is where the real battle begins. When Ben turns into Ultimate Humongousaur, his physical strength and destructive power multiply exponentially. The nuclear radiation blasts from Ultimate Humongousaur's shoulders will be fired in dense barrages, creating continuous thermonuclear explosions across the battlefield. Battle Beast, with his planetary-level durability, will not be easily brought down. He will charge straight through the clouds of radiation, enduring burns and cellular damage, and launch himself at Ben. At this point, the difference in combat skill becomes starkly clear. Although Ultimate Humongousaur is stronger, Battle Beast is a martial arts master. He will use his spear to parry blows, dodge tail whips, and seek to close the distance to deliver fatal strikes to the joints of Ben's armor. However, the nature of the ultimate mode is not just about increasing power, it's about simulating evolution to optimize for combat. When Ben realizes that physical strength alone cannot defeat Battle Beast, the Ultimatrix will allow him to switch tactic. Ben will shift into Ultimate Swampfire. Ultimate Swampfire's biological regeneration will allow him to endure Battle Beast's brutal physical onslaught. When Battle Beast impales Swampfire's chest or severs a hand, Ben will instantly regenerate and counterattack with clouds of toxic spores and corrosive green flames. This is the first time Battle Beast encounters real difficulty, but Battle Beast is not an opponent easily brought down by toxin. He will hold his breath or use his combat skills to create gusts of wind from his movement speed to blow away the spore cloud. He will charge at Ultimate Swampfire with insane ferocity, accepting burns and poisoning in exchange for a fatal blow to Ben's head, aiming to disrupt his concentration and force him to switch forms. As the battle escalates to its peak, Ben will be forced to use his most powerful and most strategically advantageous transformation. This is where the Ultimatrix's diversity plays a decisive role. Ben will switch to Ultimate Big Chill. Ultimate Big Chill's ability to become intangible will render all of Battle Beast's physical attacks meaningless. Battle Beast can punch through Big Chill's body, but he cannot damage an entity that has no material substance. Moreover, Ultimate Big Chill's atomic-level freezing breath is an attack against which Battle Beast has absolutely no physical defense. As Ultimate Big Chill freezes the air and drops the temperature near absolute zero, the molecules in Battle Beast's body will begin to slow down. Battle Beast will recognize the danger of this situation. He cannot defeat an intangible opponent with atomic freezing capabilities using brute muscle strength. He will try to use the surrounding environment, hurling massive boulders or creating explosions by shattering geological structures to generate shockwaves, hoping to disrupt Ultimate Big Chill's concentration and force Ben to become tangible. But Ultimate Big Chill is not just intangible, he can also consume matter and energy. If Battle Beast tries to use any energy source, or if Ultimate Big Chill decides to consume the very heat from Battle Beast's body, the warrior will fall into a state of exhaustion. However, we cannot underestimate Battle Beast's will. Even with parts of his body frozen, even as his cells are being paralyzed, Battle Beast will not surrender. He will use the pain itself as a catalyst, forcing his body to transcend its biological limits, burning his last reserves of life force to launch one final, desperate attack. If he can manage to make contact with Ultimate Big Chill, a blow powerful enough could shatter Ben's concentration, causing a shock to his nervous system and forcing the Ultimatrix to retreat into a protective mode. Furthermore, Ben can transform into Way-Big. Although Way-Big lacks an ultimate form, his gigantic size and cosmic-level strength will completely change the dynamics of the battle. Battle Beast can fly and fight in space, but against a colossal entity that can fire cosmic rays capable of tearing through space like Way-Big, Battle Beast's advantages in speed and close-quarters combat will be neutralized. Way-Big can keep Battle Beast at a distance and continuously bombard him with cosmic rays possessing planet-destroying destructive power. Battle Beast may withstand a few shots, but he cannot endure a relentless barrage of cosmic rays raining down from an entity hundreds of times his size. Psychologically, Ben in this era can be influenced by the aggression of the ultimate forms, but he still retains his basic awareness. Battle Beast is completely without fear, but he also lacks the cunning to exploit Ben's psychology. He will fight directly, and this inadvertently gives Ben, who possesses good tactical intelligence, the opportunity to set traps and coordinate his transformations to bring him down. Battle Beast is a magnificent warrior, a perfect physical entity that can make even gods wary. His courage, skill, and will are undeniable. But in a universe where power is measured not just by muscle and speed, but also by the ability to manipulate the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology at a microscopic level, his lack of non-physical and long-range attacks is a fatal weakness. Ben 10, with the Ultimatrix, not only possesses physical strength comparable to Battle Beast through his ultimate forms, but also holds a treasury of special abilities such as intangibility, atomic freezing, crystal manipulation, and cosmic ray projection, things that Battle Beast has absolutely no way to defend against or counter. Therefore, in my opinion, Ben 10 Inches, the Ultimate Alien Era, would be the victor of this battle. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much.